Hello everybody and happy Halloween! Or rather, 5 days before Halloween, because it would be weird for me to release a Halloween themed video on November 2nd. How's it going? I'm Justin from Playing Board Games, and I'll be honest, I wanted to do this video with Travis and Bryn, but things have been crazy. Our schedules have just not been aligning as syncly as they normally do this month, so unfortunately you're stuck with just me. I know, it sucks, but that's just how it is. Halloween is my favorite time of the year, and part of the reason I love Arkham Horror so much is because it is a spooky game, but there's always more fun ways that you can play, that you can incorporate the spookiness, or also just like the weird joke Halloween stuff into the game. So I wanted to provide this as kind of just like a chill end of October list video with 5 ways to celebrate Halloween with Arkham Horror, the card game. So yeah, let's dive in with our number 1, which is pretty simple. This one's just play a spooky custom standalone. If you don't know, Beard, the prolific Arkham Horror custom content designer who honestly has released so many videos. Actually, on this channel in and of itself, this week I've released 2 videos, and this is now the 3rd mentioning Beard in the content. So Beard makes a lot of great Arkham Horror standalones. And each year, the Beard releases a spooky custom standalone around Halloween. Now you might be saying, but Justin, aren't all Arkham Horror scenarios kind of spooky? Yes, they're all horror, right? Arkham Horror. But Beard likes, at least with the ones that were released, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and now The Invisible Man this year. They're all themed around like classic horror literature and stuff like that. So it kind of has that vibe going for it. Beard, as you don't know, is also, you can see down below, is the designer of Arkham and Wonderland and Cyclopean Foundations, and Beard just, like, rarely misses, right? So, like, that's kind of, like, the thing that, even though I've only actually played, at the time of this recording, I've only actually played The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, I feel confident in the ability to recommend all 4 of these if you're looking for a spooky standalone to play on Halloween, whether this be with your friends over Tabletop Simulator, whether this be, you know, by yourself playing 2-handed solo, or 3-handed solo, or 4-handed solo, or hell, true solo. I ain't your dad. This is a great idea to get in kind of that spooky Halloween mood, which I think is super awesome. Notably, as I said, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow we played recently. It was released a few days ago on the channel. There's a link in the description if you want to see it in action. But I also have a link to all 4 of the Halloween, or at least the October standalone scenarios that Beard releases down in the video description. I'm very excited to play them. I'm actually playing 3 of them this Friday as part of a Patreon Game Day. So if you want to support the channel, you can do so on Patreon and maybe join in Patreon Game Days in the future. Plug, plug, plug. Now, let's go on to number 2 over here. Get involved in the Week of Horror event at Fantasy Flight Games. Now, there is a chance you might not know what this is, and if you don't, there's a link down in the description. Earlier in this month, Fantasy Flight Games released that they are going to be celebrating a week of horror, for like a week of Arkham Horror at the end of the month in October, with a bunch of cool stuff. This includes things like a tarot reading, dares, which I will get to what those are in a second, a photo challenge, recipes themed around Velma's Diner, Parallel Investigator, yes, another Parallel Investigator is coming out at the end of the month on October 30th. There's going to be card spoilers as well to celebrate this week of Arkham Horror. Notably, none are coming from this channel, but you can find them on other content creators' places to find those. And also, there is going to be an actual blob live stream with the designers on Halloween itself. So, if you're looking for a way during the day to get into the Arkham spooky mood, join the designers when they're playing the Blob Who Ate Everything. The Blob That Ate Everything Else. They're playing the print and play expansion with that as well. It'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. So, this is kind of I like this. I actually really I hope this is something that Fantasy Flight Games does every year, because I really like what this does for Arkham. It shows, hey, Arkham's a spooky time, Halloween's a spooky time of the year, let's live with Arkham. But it also provides cool things for you as a player to do. So the dares, these actually were just released the time of the recording on this video on the 25th of October. And they provide you with optional challenges that you can incorporate into your game, and they're actually from a new designer, which is also pretty sweet. In addition, there also is a hard mode for the Gathering, a nightmare mode, which you should also check out if you're looking for a little challenge. So that's another thing you could do on Halloween. You can go back to the Gathering and see if you're able to survive the nightmare mode rules that are brought in from this. So check it out. I have a link also to the Dares link. I have links to everything I'm going to be talking about, at least in detail, down in the video description. So check it out. Going on to our next one here, we got play a scenario with our trick or treat rules. So on Halloween itself, on Playing Board Games, we're doing something, me, Travis, and Bryn are doing something a little bit silly for your entertainment. We've already recorded it at the time that I'm recording this video, but we played Trick or Treat. So this one is kind of wild, and it was pretty fun. So we each built 29 XP decks for each other, and our decks were filled with tricks and treats. We, as the deck builder, decided what the tricks and treats were, and we generally wanted, if our treats were really good, our tricks had to balance it out. You know, it's just like reaching into, Travis described this as reaching into a bag of candy and trying to find out what's inside. Sometimes you get a giant chocolate bar, sometimes you get a rock, sometimes you just get like a god dang spider that, you know, tries to bite your hand. We didn't stop there, though. We actually also went further, and we played the Midnight Masks, and we each brought 2 trick and 2 treat elite enemies to the table, and we shuffled them all together to replace the cultist deck. So we still drew a cultist when they spawned and looked at their spawn instructions, but then we drew an enemy from our trick or treat pile to take the place of that cultist. And sometimes we got our treat enemies, and they were really easy to kill, and then sometimes we got the trick enemies, which you might be able to see in the thumbnail over there, who our trick and who our treat enemies might be. So I highly suggest, 1, you watch this video when it comes out. Once again, this is a plug. But number 2, I think that if you're looking for a fun way to do something with your friends over Tabletop Simulator, or even in Arkham Paper, try doing some trick-or-treating with them. And I especially like the whole idea of theming it around like Midnight Mask, because it kind of like feels, you know, you're walking around Arkham, you're getting all of your, stopping at house to house in your costumes to get your candy. It was just really fun, and this is something that we'll probably do again in the future. But it was a blast, and I hope you look forward to the video when it comes out, and also you should try it out for yourself if you're looking to play Arkham Horror on Halloween, or in the weeks leading up to Halloween, like you know, I don't know when you're going to do stuff. Just do stuff if you want to do stuff. It's that easy. Small spoilers for a Circle and Done Wages of Sin ahead. If you don't want to watch the spoilers for that, it's super minor. But I just wanted to give a shout out because this video doesn't seem like the kind of video that's just going to throw a spoiler at you out of nowhere. So I'm going on. If you don't want to be spoiled for the Wages of Sin, very small, but you can leave the video now. Oh my god, I went into a different world. There we go. I went into a different world. That was a true spoiler, that we saw a realm that hasn't existed for a long time. So, here's my 4th suggestion for what you can do for Halloween. And I'll be honest, this is the one on the list that actually truly scares me. Challenge yourself to get all 4 heretics in the Wages of Sin. I've never done this, and I needed something on this list that wasn't just like fun. I needed something on this list that was like, number 1, it had the feeling of Halloween, and number 2 was actually like scared me. You know, I could have been like, he play Jim Sculver, he likes skulls, but I wanted something on this list that I think was like an actual good Halloween themed challenge that exists in Arkham Horror, the card game. So, Circle Undone is definitely the most Halloween of all the official expansions. While they're all horror, as I said previously, Circle Undone is the one that has to deal with ghosts, with witches, with spirits, with Silver Twilight Lodge members, the spookiest Halloween ghouls of all. And I think that means that a scenario from that, if you're going to be playing a standalone on Halloween itself, works really well for the whole vibe. And Wages of Sin is all about fighting ghost, or ghost busting, if you will. And I think that it can be a fun challenge. You can build with whatever decks you want, and you might come up with the perfect plan to actually subdue all 4 heretics. Now you might be thinking, Justin, are you going to do this yourself? And the answer to that is no. This one scares me way too much. But if you do try it, please let me know if you accomplished it, because I will give you the world of praise, because that's impressive. If you've done it and also in the scenario itself, let me know in the comments, because I'll also be super impressed. Okay, our last one that we got here is have everyone dress up as another investigator. See, I just see 2 Norman Withers. But actually, have everyone dress up as another investigator. So this is something that I like following the rules, right? I like following the rules, but I also like, for standalone scenarios when I just want to have fun, bending the rules to see what comes of it. So a perfect example of this on our channel, with a link in the description, is Mecha Roland. In that, if you don't know what Mecha Roland is, Travis, Bryn, and myself each played Roland Banks. We were all Roland Banks, which is number 1, against the rules, but number 2, led to probably one of my favorite games we've ever played of Arkham Horror. So this was actually an alternative idea I was going to pitch to the guys for us to do for the Halloween themed video this year, which was to have everyone dress up as another investigator. So the idea for this is that all the investigators you're playing, they each kind of like rotate their deck building rules clockwise or counterclockwise. So this example I have here is, what if Mark took Wendy's deck building, Wendy took Ursula's deck building, Ursula took Mark's deck building, and see what to do with that. So it's like literally a Halloween dress up where all the friends have gotten together and are dressing up like the other investigators. I don't think this is particularly exciting enough to do for a full campaign, but it's those kinds of dumb, rule-breaking standalones that I love doing for, like, themed videos, right? So this is something that I didn't want to just leave to forget, to leave in, like, the back of my head and just kind of, like, go out of my ear and, like, disappear. But I think this is something I just wanted to preserve so I could even revisit, and you could maybe be like, hey, I think that seems like a fun idea. There was, unfortunately, I don't know the name of the person who created it off the top of my head, and I'm really sorry about this. But there was there was a user who made like a Frankengator, which basically just merged 4 different investigators together into one investigator. So it took like stat line, ability, deck building, and health and sanity and stuff like that, from multiple investigators, and put them together. And this is kind of like the idea behind that as well, which is just like, what would happen if suddenly everyone was a little bit different and weren't what they were going about it, and you could just like have some fun doing like what ifs. And I think like standalones are like the perfect environment for the what ifs. So that was just a nice and simple, easy list video here on this Thursday. I hope that you enjoyed it. Maybe you are going to do one of these for Halloween. Who knows? But most of all, I just hope that you are having a great October. This has been a great October for me. I've been watching a lot of horror movies. I've been, playing a lot of Arkham and having a lot of fun playing Arkham as well. So I just wanted to pass on my Halloween spirit to you as well. My spirit Halloween, if you will. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back, the 3 of us, Travis, Bird, and I, hopefully for another list video next week. Our schedules should be more back in line, and you'll see the 3 bandits at the table again. But in the meantime, huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. Have a good one. And as always, a GG's.